A doctor in Kuanshan Tzu Chi Hospital gave thanks to over 600 patients and 1,000 volunteers on the gratitude dinner. Experts find 2 ruins of ancient kingdoms in Java Island that show the origin of Buddhism from 2,000 years ago. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Maggie Tsai. Thank you for joining us. October 21st, 2018, a Puyuma train turned over on its track in Taiwan and caused severe casualties. Dr. Shen Yiying, director of traditional Chinese medicine at the Kuanshan Tzu Chi Hospital, started a free clinic to treat these injured people. 7 months later, the total of 623 patients have been treated, and over 1,000 volunteers and medical staff have pitched in to help. The service has ended on June 23rd. At the gratitude dinner, Dr. Shen expressed her gratitude to everyone.
The doctor sliced the cake to give the injured patients of Puyuma train accident her best wishes. The 7th round of free clinics held by Tzu Chi Hospital for them gave these patients the best consolation.
At the beginning, I didn't trust acupuncture because I'd scream if the doctors gave me one. I didn't even want to come either. But then I came here every week because it was like coming to my home.
Beinan Junior High really wants to thank you for curing our children and also their minds.
After the train accident, many injured people went to Kuanshan Tzu Chi Hospital for treatment. When Dr. Shen Yiying was treating them, she discovered that this patient had to travel a long distance to the hospital. So she started a free clinic in Taiwan City for them on December 1st, 2018.
We should extend our warm and helping hands to them. Whether it's us or others, when they need our help, please reach out to pull them up so we can help them walk over the dark valley of their lives.
In addition to medical professionals, Tzu Chi volunteers' dedications also allow the free clinics to become warmer.
When we see our folks walking out of their pain and smiling sweetly, we know it is our duty. We also feel grateful and blessed.
Disasters are horrible, but there's always sunlight after the storm. The completion of this free clinical service also means these patients can start new lives.
How to slow down the global warming has become an urgent issue for mankind. In April, Tzu Chi Foundation joined hands with the Taipei city government for a large-scale leave-no-chase vegetarian picnic, which was widely received by the public. Their messaging reminded everyone that we needed to gather blessings for ourselves and also the future generations.
On this weekend, the whole family goes out for a picnic. At the DaAi Park in April, a large-scale leave-no-trace vegetarian picnic was held, and you will not see any disposable tableware.
We brought our tableware, edamame, and some bread to support the vegetarian diet.
We at the Xingdian Handiwork turned the fabric from recycled umbrellas into the picnic blankets for a family of 4 people and lent them to anyone who didn't have it. It had just rained and the ground was wet, so people needed the blankets, and the blankets can be used repeatedly.
At the vegetarian food fair every year in the World Trade Center, Tzu Chi's instant rice is very popular.
只要打香鸡饭它就会出来好几个网站都在登。
5 different tastes of instant rice are available at 2 major online shopping websites.
就是放在
It's faster to promote vegetarian meal on the internet, and we can also attract young people to be vegetarian. I feel the result is quite fabulous because we have sold over 1,000 bags a month.
Lin Zhiying has 16 years of experience on internet marketing. She now works with her son to make videos to promote them.
这个影片是我小儿子。
My youngest son made this video. It is a simple video, but if you have a video to sell your products on the internet, it will be more effective. Over 10,000 people have ordered it.
福就是一个气，大家人呢，把这个福气凝聚起来，气旺盛啦，自然呢，台湾就会较平安啦。也是呢，为家己的子孙 保護大地。
We have only one Earth, so for our future generations, we must act now to protect it.
The Tunio Hakka Culture Museum in Taichung, Shigang used to be the family home of the Liu family before the 9/21 earthquake. Much of it collapsed during the earthquake, and their descendants donated the land to the government during reconstruction, so a Hakka Culture Hall could be built for the public. They hope to promote Hakka culture as well as remind the future generations the difficult history of surviving the disaster. The traditional Hakka courtyard building is Taichung Tunio Hakka Culture Museum. It was the ancestral house of Liu family, and it was reconstructed after 9/21 earthquake for governmental use.
NGOs work with public departments to preserve it. We use this as a base to promote Dapu's Hakka culture.
The reconstruction of the Liu family's old house has shown its original glamour and preserved the precious heritage. It has also added multimedia and photo exhibitions. After 9/21 earthquake, the Liu family also decided to improving the community. Right next to the culture hall, the founder of Shigang Community Reform Association, Liu Shansan, has used this container house temporarily after the earthquake as the association office.
We formed the association to bring outside teams to combine with our local culture. We had an organization during the reconstruction process.
The association recruited many youth who returned to their village to reform the community. In the past 20 years, they have been dedicated to cultural preservation and tourism promotion.
We will preserve the spirit and rebuild our community. Although the reconstruction has come to an end, we must learn the spirit of our ancestors.
The new house of the Liu family is now renovated with many floors combining both traditional and modern elements. It was the only building that didn't collapse after the 9/21 earthquake, which serves as a reminder for future generations to always remember difficulties to preserve themselves from disasters. In the beginning of May, Malawi and Namibia volunteers visited villages in Durban, South Africa. This noble chief in Malawi has shown a humble attitude to personally clean the face of a patient and learn to serve others with compassion. Durban volunteers visited remote villages along with volunteers from Namibia and Malawi.
I feel for him for sitting on the wheelchair. Let's all pray for him.
Volunteers boil water to clean this stroke patient. The chief set an example first. In the tradition of Zulu tribe, it's woman's duty to clean. The chief has shown his most humble self despite ranking highest in the tribe. Volunteers drove 3 days from Malawi to Durban to learn to do Tzu Chi work and serve the impoverished and ill people with compassion. They hope to bring changes to all these villages visited. City volunteers in Selangor, Malaysia went to a daycare center in Surrey Certain Secondary School in Serdan to teach students about the importance of vegetarianism.
This daycare center in Sedan, Selangor provides one vegetarian meal a week for its students. Vegetarian diet is good for one's health and also the environment.
We want to teach your children about loving our earth and environment. Vegetarian diet can help reduce carbon emissions and also global warming.
The teacher and the volunteers dress up as vegetables or fruits to encourage the children to take on a vegetarian diet. Tzu Chi volunteers also go to Seri Sedan Secondary School to promote vegetarianism, so the students of all the races would know its benefits. More people bring more strength together. Young people are encouraged to eat a vegetarian diet to slow down global warming.
Buddhism has spread to Indonesia for near 2,000 years, with Java Island being its birthplace. The ancient ruins found in Karawang of West Java are thought to be from the 5th and 10th century, as there were two kingdoms which played a big role in how popular Buddhism became. Let's take a look at the ruins that were found.
Around the 5th century, the ancient kingdom of Java Island began trading with India and China, which brought Hinduism and Buddhism onto the island. And Batu Jaya of West Java's Karawang was where Sriwijaya, Taruma, and Mataram, all major Buddhist kingdoms, were located. It is also where archaeologists found the ancient ruins of Batu Jaya, the temples left by the old kingdoms of Sriwijaya and Taruma.
Sejarah awal percandian Batu Jaya, waktu tahun 1984, kebetulan di Cibuaya itu.
There is an archaeological dig in these parts, and they discovered many ancient structures that were covered up by mounds of earth and Batu Jaya. After further excavation, it was found that each mound was actually a structure.
Kita belum mengenal adanya candi, tapi dengan sebutan unur.
We didn't know it was a temple then. It wasn't until 1985 when further examination was had.
Tapi waktu itu belum bisa dibilang bangunan candi. Barulah di tahun 1985 itu diadakan kegiatan ekskavasi atau penelitian.
Since 1984, archaeologists have found 62 ruins in this 5 square kilometer site. The 4 that has been preserved well has been handed over to the Ministry of Culture. 2 of the temples have begun restoration, and through the architecture structure, one can see that this was formerly a religious ground.
Di masa Tarumanegara juga ya, dulu itu umat Buddha sudah ada. Memang tidak.
There was initially Buddhist followers in the ancient kingdom, but not many. It wasn't until Sriwijaya ruled that Buddhism became the nation's religion. These temples are all Buddhist structures because we discovered many Buddhist graphics on the structure.
Motif tablet ini bergambarkan tokoh-tokoh dalam agama Buddha.
In 2019, the Education and Culture Ministry of Indonesia named the Batu Jaya Temple a National Cultural Heritage.
Although West Java is known for being a former Buddhist kingdom, many of their followers do not reside in the area, as it is now mostly populated by Muslims. Yet their religious counterparts do not disregard the ancient Buddhist artifacts left by the old kingdoms, as both religious followers help maintain a relic and celebrate Vesak Day together.
The ancient ruin in Karawang is a well-known Buddhist sacred land, yet no followers can be found living near the area. It is said that in the 10th century, a massive flooding of the Sitaram River occurred and inundated nearby villages. In the end, everyone moved away from Karawang.
Karena memang di abad 10 ini, kawasan kita ini mengalami suatu.
In the 10th century, the Sitaram River overflowed and flooded everywhere. It was the largest natural disaster in that century. The Buddhist followers then, one by one, chose to move away from the area to resettle elsewhere.
Yang sudah pindah lebih dahulu.
Not far from Karawang is Lengas Dengklok, where many of the Buddhism followers gather. In 1965, many Buddhist families moved here, and slowly this district became a known Buddhist village. To date, Buddhists and Muslims both protect this ancient Buddhist temple. And beginning in 2007, a Buddhist fair is held each year to celebrate Vesak.
Indonesia has over 705,000 islands, and within its 35 provinces, there are 1,300 different tribes where 600 variety of languages are spoken, each with their own unique traditional clothing. However, the thing that ties the tribes together is that each has its own textile patterns. Let's take a look.
Indonesia is an archipelago made up of thousands of islands. Each of the 35 provinces has its own unique culture, with some still unknown to each other. Among the special cultural traditions is the textile work of East Nusa Tenggara, known as Inde textile, taken from the Inde Regency. This craft has been handed down from generation to generation. The colors of the fabric are mostly darker with black lines, forming different delicate patterns. The varieties of textile work found on Flores Island reflects each family's specialty pattern.
Kalau proses itu dari awal, dari pengadaan benang.
We start by making the thread, which then we can begin to roll into a bowl, which eventually becomes a textile fabric. We have to know what pattern we're making right way. This way, there won't be problem during weaving of it.
Dari pengikat itu, kita harus bisa memilih motif lebih awal. Jadi kita planning motifnya seperti apa, sehingga saat kita mengikat itu tidak salah.
Here at Wanelago village, the women still maintain the traditional ways of textile weaving to preserve the handicraft. They start with handmade thread, which they dye before the long process of actual weaving can begin. Most traditional colors for Inde-style textiles are earth brown, brick red, and black.
We maintain the traditional weaving techniques as it's filled with historical value. What we have changed is very minimal. Usually we just improve on our pattern.
For East Nusa Tenggara residents, each fabric is representative of life, and it's never far away from their birth to their death. The respect they have for nature is also present in each fabric they weave.
According to the EPA, LCD panels accounted for 8,000 tons of garbage in Taiwan last year. Some 500 tons are due to consumers disposing of old products, while 7,500 tons are defective products from 2 domestic companies. Because of designation as industrial waste, LCD panels had to undergo Class A treatment plan for landfill disposal. However, new technology developed by E-Tree can now extract the liquid crystal as well as other materials, helping cut down on waste.
These LCD panels you see now are the defective products from this industry. In fact, for every 100 LCD screens, it is possible that about 5 are defective. For example, this piece in my hands has both small and large bubbles and cannot be used. The EPA categorizes it as hazardous industrial waste, though E-Tree had found a valuable use for it.
Discarded LCD panels will first be crushed, and then a wet cyclic extraction using solvent will be used to take out the liquid crystal, which will appear blue or another color. Because there are a lot of impurities, we need to use a liquid crystal purification technology to remove the impurities and achieve liquid crystal purity greater than 99.9% or higher.
Liquid crystals account for 1/1000th of an LCD panel. In other words, 1 ton of waste LCD panel after recycling can purify 1 kilogram of liquid crystals. Don't underestimate this recycling effect because the cost of liquid crystals is very high, with 1 gram costing $5. This recycling technology not only reduces procurement costs but also reduces pollution.
Previously, it was buried as waste, but we know that LCD panels contain liquid crystals, which may be harmful to the environment. So if we buried it, this is not a good way to dispose of it.
According to EPA statistics, in 2017, the amount of waste LCD panels in Taiwan was 8,000 tons, of which 500 tons were 3C products scrapped by the public. Another 7,500 tons are defective products by 2 optoelectronic factories, Innolux and AUO. In the past, tens of thousands of tons of defective products were sent to the landfill as waste that could not be reused. But since the end of 2018, there has been a complete reversal. eTree's technology to recycle liquid crystal technology has been given to domestic and foreign technology firms, where I'm now standing is Innolux, and you can see that all defective LCDs are entering the system for processing.
After defective liquid crystals are taken out, they're as good as original liquid crystals.
Non-defective scrap has become raw material. So how to deal with hazardous waste from the liquid crystal process. Where I'm standing is a sludge storage tank of Innolux. Behind me is this brackish water, which is a process by which LCD panels produce sludge. Every month, Innolux produces 700 tons of dry sludge. Science and technology sludge is often abandoned by unscrupulous companies because processing takes a lot of time and money. A number of domestic technology companies have put a lot of money into constructing anti-pollution equipment to better protect the environment and eliminate possible pollution.
Organic wastewater produced by the optoelectronic industry will pass through the biological pool and the anaerobic system to produce a relatively high concentration of methane gas. This biogas power generation allows us to produce every year about 1.12 million watts of electricity. This can also reduce 590,000 kilograms of carbon dioxide emissions.
Our general wastewater treatment leads to wastewater recovery, which is one of the first steps of the circular economy. We are doing this to help protect the earth and promote conservation. Environmental protection and corporate profits do not necessarily need to be in conflict. This can be illustrated by the LCD recycling on the production line at Innolux.
We estimate that we cannot completely reuse the defective products from these defective LCDs. They can be completely processed and recycled.
Annually, the company reduced its spending on liquid crystals by 19 to 22 million US dollars. And the remaining glass is processed in cooperation with eTree, utilizing green glass adsorbent material.
This green glass absorbent, and when you put it into a tube with some electroplating water passing through, all the heavy metals will be absorbed by this material, and the heavy metal will be removed. After it is removed, it returns to the original glass state, and this can be reused.
Hand in hand, this green glass absorbent material has been tested in electroplating plants to reduce heavy metal wastewater pollution. And this set of stunning LCD recycling technology in the future will extend the usefulness of both the LCD panels and mobile phones produced globally.
As long as it is liquid crystal, it can be processed. Whether it is a mobile phone or something small or as big as 100 inches, it can all be handled.
With consumers buying more and more mobile phones, tablets, and LCD TVs, more must be invested into recycling these items to help reduce the impact upon the earth. Also, recycling these products properly is the responsibility of everyone, as we all live in one global village.
Indonesia Business University invited Tzu Chi to share recycling concepts and take students to visit recycling stations to save the earth with actions. We'll leave you with these images and thank you for joining us. Goodbye.